All right, guys, welcome to the Talking Shit with B-Rag podcast. How you guys doing today? So this episode is going to be a little bit different than usual. Usually, you guys see we have guests on and stuff like that. Today, I just kind of want to. I know I did an episode where I gave you guys the backstory of my nickname, B-Rag. The reason that I wanted to do this podcast is because I've just done a lot of crazy shit, been through a lot of crazy shit as well. And I think that maybe we should just start from the beginning. Told you the B-Rag story. That's pretty much the start of everything. So in this episode, I think what I want to do is give you guys another little story, some back context. One of the first times that I ever really got in trouble. So I'm trying to get the so long story short, I mean I'll get into the details and stuff, but I did end up getting arrested. I was on probation and stuff for a little while. This everybody was already prosecuted for this and everything else. So um, with that being said, I'm trying to get my co-defendants, if that's what you want to call it, to come on the show. But I haven't talked to them in no shit probably 15 years, maybe 10 years, something like that, because I'm 31. I think I stopped hanging out with them really when I was like 15. So, yeah, I mean, do the math. I'm not that great at it. 11 years, whatever. Yeah, I just kind of like, they went one way, I went another way. This kind of was a huge deal. I mean, me and this crew, we were doing some fucked up shit. I mean, criminal stuff. Some stuff we never got caught, so I'm not gonna really talk about it. I don't know what statute of limitations are. Um, so it just wasn't good. B&Es, you know. And that's what we did around here. We're in a small town in upstate New York, Herkimer. You know, there was a good skateboarding scene when I was a kid, but other than that, you just went in the woods and fucking lit shit on fire, or you like, broke into places and did stupid shit. So there was like back then it was me and three other buddies of mine. If they decide to be on the show, then I will you'll get their names and stuff and we'll go into more depth with this. But um they're just three buddies of mine. One of them actually to this day has all four of our initials tattooed on him on his forearm in a compass, like a nautical compass, right there on his forearm, and it's actually a really nice tattoo. But it's just funny because we don't really speak that much, but it was just such a crazy time in our lives. It was when we were just starting to get into partying, drinking. Um, I think at that point, I don't think I had done drugs yet at that point. Just smoking weed, no drugs yet. Keeping my nose clean, but figuratively and literally. Um, but yeah, so we decided because it was hard to party back then. I mean, not hard, but you had to find somebody to buy you booze. Then you had to find a place to drink it, and back then we didn't care. We would just literally walk out to a spot in the woods because where we live is just surrounded by woods. And we'd fucking sleep outside and just fucking set up a campsite. Sometimes not even having tents. We would just sleep. Just we'd stay up all night, or we would just stay out in the woods. Um, but yeah. So one of the guys in the story was turning 18, and we kind of got into like breaking into places, not stealing or anything, just like exploring. Like there is an abandoned factory that's no longer there, thank God. They tore it down, so I don't even know if we can get in trouble for this. But we were all underage. That's the thing. We were all underage. We were just being dumb kids, and it was kind of like our hangout spot. We used to go there all the time. It's where we like stored shit. We put locks on the doors, like so nobody could like take our shit. And so like yeah, we're getting into the drinking thing. We're going to shows. We're like we were like the essential emo kids. This was probably 2006, 2007. So me and this kid who I was best friends with back then really became like the punk emo kids at our school. We were the first ones to wear girl pants. I mean, we would like hook up with girls and then just steal their pants. We started, our sex lives started pretty young, like 13, 14 years old. So yeah, and like we hung out with the older crowd. So like that's how we got so into partying, and we just wanted to throw this banger, this fucking rager of a party for my buddy's 18th birthday. And there's a local high school around here. It's now called CVA, but it was the Alien High School that one of these kids attended. Now, like I said, we've all been arrested for this. We all got prosecuted. Two of them actually ended up going to jail because of their age, and me and my other buddy were underage, and we had to do a bunch of probation and shit for it. So we got the idea. It's pretty easy to break into the school. Just the way that it's set up, it has like a courtyard, and they had this like electrical box that was surrounded in fencing, and then you could just jump, you climb the fencing, get on top of the roof of the school, and then there were trees in the courtyard, and you would just shimmy down the tree, and there were crash bars on the outside of the doors, and you would just walk in. There were no, I mean, it was pretty fucking easy, and we were scouting it out a little bit too, you know? So they had this fundraiser. I can't remember what it was for. It's like prom or something like that. I can't really remember. Like I said, I was only 13 when we did this. 13 or 14. I can't remember my exact age. Maybe 14. Oh, man, I can't remember. I was in the 8th grade. Fuck. Either way, really young. 18 or 13 or 14 years old. And they had just done this fundraiser, and we were like, that's what we're going to do. Because none of us had jobs back then. We were all underage. So we're like, we're good at breaking into places. We'll break into the school, steal some money from this fundraiser. They'll never know. And we'll just throw this great party. So, and the dumbasses that we are, we started like telling people about it. Like close friends and shit. And everybody's like, you guys are dumb. Don't fucking do that. It's stupid. Blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, fuck it. We're just going to do it. So the time came, and we fucking all met at a buddy's house, and we were spending the night there. We had backpacks on. We were dressed in all black, just like burglars, you know, from a fucking sitcom or something. Like thinking back on this now, and like being a parent and shit, and like what my mom and dad went through for everything that I'm about to tell you guys in this podcast throughout the time of me doing this. Because, side note, this is what I'm going to do. So I'll have the boys on all the time. Chris and Nick, they're going to be staples in this show. Lindsay probably pop in every now and then. But this is stories about my life, you know? And Chris, as close as I am with Chris and Nick, I had a whole other life before I even met them. I mean, we went to school together for most of our lives, but our circles never intertwined until I started working at this restaurant, and then that's when we all became super, super close, when I was like 16. So fast forward to the day we're going to do this. We tell our parents we're sleeping at so-and-so's house. Well, I tell my parents that. And yeah, we dress in all black. We got backpacks. We're skaters at this time, so I think in one of the backpacks there was like, you know, those universal T-tools for skateboards. It's got like the Allen head key and the fucking Phillips head, and it's got the sockets on it's a T-tool, they're called. I think he had one of those in his bag, didn't even realize it, and like a screwdriver and some other shit. Just, you know, we were skateboarders, so we would always have that shit. And this plays in the story down the line. So we meet up, we're just hanging out, no boozing, no partying, no nothing. We're just like psyching ourselves up. We're like, we're going to fucking do this, we're going to fucking do this, we're going to fucking do this, we're going to fucking do this. So we do it, and we walk to the school, because none of us had cars, and thank God we didn't, because that would have just been stupid if we drove there. And this school is also surrounded by woods, so there was like a trail that we took, and we just kind of hung out in the woods, and I think we did it at like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. I can't remember. I mean, you want to talk about your first encounter with anxiety. Like, you're 13 years old, you're about to commit not crazy serious crime, but, it's your first. I had done some other shit prior to this that, never saw the light of day, but this was a big fucking deal. And it was for a stupid cause. So if you're a young kid and you're listening to this, like, hopefully you take away from this that being a criminal and being like doing crimes and shit when you're a teenager, yeah, it's all fun and games, but like if you don't have the mentality that I had to like really grow up when you needed to, get a job when you needed to, that sort of shit, then I don't suggest you start getting into this because it's hard to stop. It's scary too. It's fucking terrifying. Like yeah. So we walk in, we're in the woods, and we're like, all right, we're gonna do this. We shimmy up the fucking side of the building, we shimmy down the tree, and we get into the school. So my fucking thought, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, if we don't have shoes on, I'm like, it'll probably be better for us. We won't make as much noise. We'll be stealthy. Now, mind you, we're all got socks on. You guys know how high school floors are. It's like fucking, it's all tile or ceramic or whatever the fuck it is, linoleum. I think it's tile. So there's 4 of us walking through the halls of the Ilion High School with no shoes on, all dressed in black hoodies, black girl pants, and no fucking shoes on. And all of a sudden, we're on our way to the office where we think they're keeping this money. And there's a fucking janitor in the school. Janitor, security guard, whatever you want to call it. And it scared the fucking shit out of us. And the guy, because he didn't know we were in there. And it's like, it was like a hallway that came down like this and a hallway that came like this. And the janitor was on the corner here and came around and we were going straight at him. And fucking he sees us and we see him and we just all are like, run! I mean, if you don't know Ilion, the police station is, fuck, man, 100 yards away from the school. Like, it's fucking not even, it's not far at all. Like, not far at all. And I don't know if they were expecting it or what. I don't know. Because we scoped it out. There was never a janitor. There was never a security guard. So I don't know if they caught on to what we were doing. Some other things had happened. Maybe somebody went in before we committed this. Maybe not, allegedly. I don't really remember how it went. So maybe they found out about that. But this guy gets on the phone with the fucking police. And we're running. Now, like I said, we took our fucking shoes off. So we're in fucking socks running down the fucking hallways of the fucking school, trying to escape and get out of this school as fast as we can. And one of the kids, we're running so fast, he fucking comes around a corner and just loses it and slides like a scene from a movie and just fucking smashes into a fucking locker. We get outside, we fucking put our shoes on, and I mean, dude, within 30 seconds, there's fucking cops everywhere. But we're surrounded by woods, so me and another guy stayed together, and the other 2, who are brothers, just took off. I mean, you want to talk about fucking heart-racing moment as a teenage boy. I mean, this was crazier than the first time I had sex. I mean, fucking, your adrenaline is just going crazy, dude. To experience that, most people don't ever experience that level of adrenaline ever in their entire life, let alone at 13 years old and committing a crime. Like, it's fucking crazy. So me and the one guy are together. The other 2 guys separate. And somehow we just took a bunch of back roads through the town and we made it back to the safe house where we were staying. Me and the one guy. And we're like, fuck, we're freaking out. 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. Fucking the one guy shows up. Now we're just down one guy. And we're like, we're going to make it. We're not going to get caught. We got this. Well, then all of a sudden an hour goes by. This kid's not back. And all of a sudden another 20 minutes goes by. 30 minutes goes by. All of a sudden it's been like 2 hours. This kid is not back yet. And we figured, like, if he had gotten caught already, they would have known where we were, and they would have already arrested us. So the other two guys, they're like, we're going to go out and go look for him. I'm like, dude, that's such a bad idea. I'm like, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. They see a bunch of kids walking around. They're going to know. They're going to immediately assume that we are the ones that did it and, you know, get pinched for it. Well, they don't listen. Like I said, sorry, the dog's going crazy. And like I said, stop. Like I said, it was the one kid's brother, so he was nervous. And so they just decide, they changed their clothes. They're like, we're going out looking for him. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'll stay here in case he makes it back. Well, sure as shit, exactly what I said was going to happen happened. And those 3 boys got picked up. And how I know this is because my buddy's mom called my cell phone. And I mean, screaming and yelling, fucking idiots, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are they in jail? Blah, 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 blah. And she goes, I told the police where you were, and they're coming to get you. And I'm like, fuck, dude. And I can remember the outfit I had on. I had on a pair of black girl pants, and they didn't make straight-legged pants back then, really. So they were like the bell bottom, like with the flare, you know? Like a boot cut for guys, but they were skinny real tight girl pants. And I think it was my first Misfits shirt that I ever had. And I got this so fucking lame, this awful fedora from a thrift shop, skate park that we used to go to called Bridgewater Skate Park. I saw it and I was like, I'm going to be the fedora guy. I'm going to be the punk fedora guy. And I get arrested the first time ever. And that was the outfit I had on, fucking black girl pants, my first Misfits shirt that I think I got from Herb Phillipson's or some shit, which I don't even know why they had that there, and this brown shit-looking fedora, and I just look like such a fucking asshat. And they fucking come to the door, I answer, my buddy's mom's not there, and they fucking handcuff me, put me in the back of the cop car. And I believe these were troopers because they didn't know what was happening or what was going on. So they kind of thought this was a big deal. I mean, it was in the paper. I believe it was on the news. And they had roadblocks set up, from what I was told, looking for us. Now, they could have been lying about that. I don't really know. But, yeah, so I get to the Ilion police station and my fucking parents are there. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, obviously I was young. They were going to find out eventually, but what they had did was they fucking went to my mom's house in the middle of the night, banging on the door, looking for me. My mom, I mean, we had a tragedy happen to us when I was a little kid. I lost one of my cousins at a very young age. He was in a car accident the day after Christmas. I was in the 3rd grade. And we lived in a duplex, and they lived next door, and we lived on one side, and the troopers came to the house to tell my aunt and uncle what had happened, and they came to my house first. So when this happened again for me, my mom immediately assumed that I was dead. So she was a fucking wreck. And granted, I was only 13, so this is the first stint of run-ins with law enforcement that I put my mom through. And it didn't get any better from there. I mean, as you will find out after I tell you guys more about my life. Yeah, so my mom and dad are there, and then the questioning starts to happen. So the one kid, he got clipped first because when he came out of the high school, he fucking ran through the woods in a creek and was soaking wet and decided to fucking hide under a car. So I think they found him pretty quick. And then the other 2 got picked up because they were out walking around. And I don't know who ratted. I know I said some shit I probably shouldn't have said. But, I mean, I was 13 years old. I was fucking scared. You know, it was crazy. I mean, it's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress and a lot of shit to be under at 13 years old. And just to see my parents' face when I walked into that police station and I got processed and was in handcuffs and everything, it was It was crazy, and it didn't even. It was crazy in that moment, but obviously it didn't change my life because for the next, I was 13. We'll say for the next 4 years. Nah, so probably the next 3 years because I kind of started laying low after 16. I had a job, girlfriend. I wasn't. I didn't really do any criminal activity or illegal things that much after 15, 16 years old, besides like underage drinking and partying and shit. But yeah, they did the whole thing, man. Fingerprints, mug shots. We had to test or had to give statements and shit. I know this is gonna sound bad. I don't remember ever having to go to court for this. I don't know if my parents went. I also know, and I'm just going to say this because I'm a grown-ass man now, and I could really care less, but my mom is kind of I'm trying to get her to come on so that she can talk shit about me as being a little fuckhead of a teenager, but she's being very reluctant to come on to the show because of who she is. I mean, everybody knows my mom. She works for the county. She's got a lot of contacts, we'll say. So, with that being said, I didn't get in as much trouble as the other three. Definitely privilege, whatever the fuck you guys want to comment in the bottom. Fuck you. I don't really care. This is my life. I didn't ask for this. I mean, I did commit the crime or whatever, but it's my mom. I'm her fucking baby boy. And she did what she had to do to keep me out of trouble. So, whatever. But yeah, I don't ever remember having to go to court for it. I don't know if the other kid that was my age went to court either. But the other two, because of their ages, they didn't get released from the police station like we did. They went to jail. The one kid ended up going away for a few months, and the other kid got bailed out. And man, this is so hard to remember. I haven't had to think about this in a long time. The other kid, I think he got bailed out, and I don't think he ever ended up going back. But the one kid, God bless, I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this back then. And he's doing great now. I mean, from what I see anyway, and from what I hear, he's doing great. This was all like we were so young, and like it was our first times getting in trouble. This was it for us. It was nuts. It was fucking crazy. So he ends up going away for a little bit. The one kid gets bailed out, the oldest one, and then me and the other kid that are the same age got probation. And I think he got more probation than I got because I only had to do like 160 days or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it was fucking nuts. The whole school, like we had to go to school the next, I think we did it on a Friday or something or a Saturday. So you can only imagine how fucking awkward and crazy that weekend was. And I didn't see, this kid was my best friend. So I didn't see him after we got arrested. I didn't see him until that following Monday at school. And I came in and I knew we had a class together. And I had all my statements and everything. And so we ended up getting charged with, what the fuck was it? Criminal possession of burglary tools, because that's why I was talking about all the things in our backpacks, the skate tools and shit. We got charged with possession of burglary tools, committing a burglary, breaking and entering. There was 4 charges altogether that we got, and yeah, so it was fucking crazy. It's crazy that they gave us possession of burglary tools because like it was very clearly a fucking skate tool and a screwdriver, and there was no forced entry. We didn't break anything to get in. We didn't do anything like that, but that just shows you. I mean, when you get arrested, they will do anything and everything they can fucking, nail you with something, to make something stick, So, yeah, we got clipped with that. And I think none of them were felonies. They were all misdemeanors. So, like, obviously, I was underage when it happened. Actually, every charge I've ever gotten was underage. I mean, I got a DWI back in 2018, so obviously that's on my record, but it's been 5 years now, so I'm pretty sure it's off, or whatever the fuck happens. But yeah, so that's kind of why I want to do this show, just to like give you guys a look at like the small town living, and when I tell people like how I lived my life for so long. And dude, I love my parents to death. I have two of the best fucking parents in the world. My stepmom, she's fucking amazing. But man, let me tell you, I put these fucking people through fucking hell. And now as a father of a little girl, it fucking terrifies me, man, because me and her mother, if you know us, have crazy genetics. We're both lunatics, and to create a child who has said genes in her body and in her makeup, it's going to be nuts to see how this little girl turns out, and it terrifies me because I don't want to ever have to deal with the shit that my parents had to deal with because of me. And it's fucking crazy to think about, man. So I was like, you know what? I won't go to therapy. I tell everybody about my problems anyway. I'm like a fucking open book, But these solo podcasts are going to be, when I'm alone like this, they're going to be a little bit more serious. They're not going to be as funny as like when the boys are here and we're drinking and laughing and having a good time. These solo ones are going to be specifically about me and the stories of my life and like what I've done and what I've been through, because it's not normal. That is fucking far from normal. But, it made me who I am today. And, minus some other shit I have going on in my life, which I don't know if I'm ever going to talk about, like, fucking custody and baby mama drama and all that shit. I don't know if I ever want to get into that on here. A lot of people out there that know me already kind of know the situation and everything else. But I came back from it, I was a fucking little shithead skater, which I did a solo show. You probably have already seen it by now on my nickname and the crew that I hung out with back in the day and all the skaters back in town from back in the day. And yeah, it's incredible to see where I'm at today. And I mean, I'm not successful by any means of the imagination, but I'm doing all right. I've had my ups and downs. I've owned a house. I've done pretty well for myself, considering I've traveled quite a bit. We'll get into that eventually, and I think I'm just going to do it like a timeline, So these are going to be my teenage years, like as a young adult or a young kid. Then we'll go into like young adult. Then we'll go into like when I moved away, and because I didn't live around here I moved away in 2010. And then I didn't fully live back here full time until I started dating my kid's mother, which I believe was either 2013 or 2014. And then even then, I think I did one more season in Vermont at a ski resort that I worked at. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to drag this out anymore. You guys got a good story out of me today. So, yeah, like, review, subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button, I kind of want to make this as big as I possibly can, share this shit. I hope you guys like listening to this shit. If you're in the fucking comments talking shit, fuck you. I don't really give a fuck what you have to say. I know I was an asshole. I know I am an asshole. But that's what makes this show so good. And I hope you guys all enjoy it. And I look forward to keeping doing this and trying to get it off the ground and hopefully making this something that is rememberable and you guys are in love with and you guys like to watch and listen to. And I hope it's good shit. So on that note, This has been the Talking Shit with B-Rag podcast. I love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.